Wholesale Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Enjoy the show!
So thank you so much for calling Wholesale Hotline.
That's it. Wow, that's great.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 245. My name is Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and I am joined by the incredible Jerry Norton, all the way from Puerto Rico. He's partying. Check out the lights. He's going.
Yeah, we got the disco lights going. That cool?
Flipping master. That's what they call him.
Excited to be here with you, Brent.
Here. I want to start by asking you a question here, Jerry. I'm gonna read something that was in a training manual that I got back in 2007. Okay.
Yeah.
And it says there are 3 major challenges to building your business. Okay. Number 1, getting your ego out of the way. Number 2, our inability to change our behavior. And number 3, a lack of commitment. So again, number 1, getting your ego out of the way. Number 2, our inability to change our environment. And number 3, a lack of commitment. What do you think of that, Jerry? Start with number 1, getting your ego out of the way. What do you think about that?
First thought is all 3 of those are mindset things. They're not even real estate related or tactical in any way.
That's right.
That's not a skill set thing. That's a mindset thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see the first one there, ego. I think that's spot on because ego means you're proud. It means you know it already. It means nobody can teach you anything. It means you're bringing your experience and your upbringing, your environment, what you already have, and you're letting that lead out rather than be a perpetual learner, right? Like everybody's your superior in some way. So that ego kind of prevents you from that. Your ego prevents you from making mistakes because you got to know everything. You got to do everything right. You can't take any responsibility because your ego is telling you that it's not your fault. It's somebody else's fault when something doesn't work out.
Yep.
Your ego's the number one. I think the most detrimental thing we as human beings have is our ego. Like our battle every day is to fight that ego.
The biggest one for me as a young entrepreneur starting out in 2004, 2005, 2006, getting into it, starting to build some momentum was I thought that people worked for me, Jerry. I thought that they worked for the boss. I was going to be the boss. You know what I mean? I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be in control. Came from a sporting background, you get good grades, you get top 5% in the class and graduation, all those things. And I was rudely awakened. I mean, dramatically awakened by the fact that people work with us. They don't work for us. And that's a big, big, big difference. Maybe back in the day when there wasn't a lot of jobs going around, there wasn't a lot of opportunity for really good income. Maybe back in the day there was some of that you work for the man type of thing. But I think those days are over. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time my employees get paid before I get paid.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
everybody comes first when you're the entrepreneur. So yeah, definitely. Like
you guys grab some chairs in there.
We treat it like a family, and these are your people, and without them, you're nothing. So definitely.
Well, it's a huge difference, and it's even one that I think that people slide. It's a slippery slope when you hire VAs, and then you just you kind of run them like they're supposed to know what they're supposed to do. They're replaceable.
Commodity. Yeah.
They're only, $4 or $5 an hour. So who cares? Right. And these are the people that are supposed to be getting you leads. These are the people that are supposed to be finding you opportunities, following up with your leads, building up your pipelines, and they work for you.
Yeah, we had a couple years ago. I've got a group from the Philippines, and they do our customer service in the training business. And they had their big flood, and I bought all our VA team. I bought them all generators, and I put them up in a hotel for like a month. And that, it didn't cost me that much, right? But this is my family. They've been with me a while. Like, I care about these people, and that meant the world to them. Like, they appreciated that so much. It meant so much to them that I did that. And, they're extremely loyal because I'm loyal.
Yep. What about our inability to change our behavior? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels good to learn things. It feels good to listen to podcasts. It feels good to watch YouTube videos. It feels good to go to meetups. It feels good to be around people. But if we don't change our behaviors on what action we actually take every single day, nothing moves, right? Everything's the same. There's no growth if there's no change.
Yeah.
So,
And oftentimes, Brent, we think that it's these big changes that move the needle, and it's really the 1% principle, right? Like a little bit more, a little bit each day. It's the small things. It's setting your alarm clock 5 minutes earlier. It's one more rep. It's one more call. It's often the little things that compound in time to get big results later. It's that compound effect that, Dan Hardy, that book was transformational for me, The Compound Effect. It's the small things we do consistently every day that have the biggest impact long-term.
Yep. What about a lack of commitment?
Lack of commitment. Yeah. It just gets hard and we quit. It's
It's a big difference between being interested and being committed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, burn the ships in the harbor. That's no plan B.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I think that I don't think you can manufacture commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can. I think that it comes along. I think it goes hand in glove with discipline, but I think that, and tell me what you guys think, and tell me what you guys think. When you have something exciting, something that you're really, really, really like, you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. There's some that like innate, like it's in your body, it's in your mind. You're just, you wake up earlier. It's not even like you set your alarm earlier, right? You just wake up earlier. You're like so ready to get going and so ready for the day to start so that you can get out of bed and take some action, or get out of bed and get your mind working and get in the right place, that it's a natural. I feel like every time there's a project, every time I'm starting a new business, every time, I've got something exciting to say on a live show or whatever else, I'm up, and I don't have to like motivate myself. There's no motivation to it. It's just, it's in there. Same, Jerry? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that too. As an entrepreneur, no one's going to tell you to get up and go to work, and I can't remember the last time I needed somebody to motivate me, just because I keep my big why front and center, and I've got these lofty goals and dreams, and I think about them. I talk about them. It's part of my everyday to be striving to do something big in the world. And, I pop up out of bed excited for the life I get to live. I don't have to. And when you approach this business and life where you get to, you don't have to, man, you just come at things totally different. You handle the rejection, you work through the obstacles, and you don't look at that as setbacks. You just look at it as opportunities to pivot and learn and grow. And it's all just part of the process, and it's normal. Nothing's going wrong. And it's when you put that constant effort in and you're consistent with it, that's when magic happens. Yeah. That's when you get lucky. It's when all the luck happens.
Yeah. Come on up. We got a question already, Jerry. Guys, put your questions in the chat. We're going to be able to go through a lot of question and answers. Tell them your name.
Hey,
tell them your height and your weight.
Yes.
Tell them. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm Yusuf. I'm 5'11".
Yusuf.
My weight is 171, and I love you, Jerry.
There we go.
Yes.
Hey,
so yes. So I have a problem with a triplex right now. The agent is telling me that I don't like wholesale, but if you can find me a buyer with no inspection period, I could give it to you as a wholesale. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do.
Well, so this is you're in a precarious situation, because here's the thing.
Hey,
if you put time, energy, and effort into that deal without having a contract, then you run the risk of them selling that property to somebody else after you've put a bunch of effort into it. So I would be asking that agent, okay, hey, what's your concern about contracting with me? Are you concerned about me performing? Is that why you don't want to go into contract with me? There's an objection there that I would be trying to uncover, and then I would be trying to reassure that agent that I'm going to perform on this contract. Let's make sure it's a win. If it's a marginal deal, I don't know. And then maybe we can work out some sort of an option type of thing, meaning like, give me a contract, give me an exclusive right, but just give me a window of time. I'll procure a buyer if that's what you want. But I don't typically like to work without a contract because otherwise I run this big risk that I waste my time.
Yes, true. Perfect.
Is it listed?
No, it's off market.
Off market.
Yes.
Do you know the price?
Yes, it's he wants 350. Yeah, he bought it for 425. He bought it for 425. He wants 350, and we're offer at 300, 310.
Okay.
Yes, but he's willing to go down if we secure the buyer. If we
Okay.
secure, so the reverse.
Yeah, but he wants 350. You want 310.
Yeah, but he's willing to do it if there's no inspection period.
Okay.
That's why
310.
Why is it important for him to not have an inspection period?
He's not a fan of wholesaling. That's why. But that's what he said. I don't know what to say to him.
Okay, got it.
Brent, but he'll let it go for 310.
So he's willing to take 310 for it? If no inspection.
Yeah, but is 310 a deal? Is 310 a deal?
Is 310 a deal? Yeah.
And what's the earnest money?
How much earnest? 10K non-refundable.
I mean, how much do you believe in the deal? If you believe in the deal, I'd put the 10K down and do the deal. But how confident are you in the deal?
He's gonna call the agent. Do you want to do it live? Should we do it live, Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk to this agent. Come on over here. Guys, do you want to see him do it live? Can you guys give him some love? Give him some love. Give him some love. Give him some love.
Let's go, Yusuf. You got this.
Ammar Shlonik. How are you, Ammar? We're going to talk English. So if you said that we could do a deal if no inspection period and we can find a buyer for you, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So how much is your final? You said that if we go under to at 310, we could do a deal, right?
No, that's not work.
Then what?
340.
340? We talked that last time. You said we can go down if we could secure the deal at with no inspection period, 10K non-refundable now.
Yeah, no, the market changed. Now I start the permit as the situation will be now easy.
So
Easy now.
so
Everything's clear now.
so what's the deal for you, Ammar? Then
340.
last, can you come down price, man? I'm Arabic. You're Arabic.
Yeah, so because I already started with a structural engineer, with architect.
No worries, man. Then I love you. Take care.
And,
Okay, bye.
All right, good. Give it up. Give it up. Huh?
So
That was
Yusuf,
easy. So will you get the address from him and see if it's a deal?
so here's another thought,
Or
Brent.
just pull it up. Just pull it up here. We got computers everywhere. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Yusuf, here's what I'll do if I feel like I don't know if I can move the deal. I'm not totally confident in the deal. Is I would go back to him and I'd say, look, at 310, I know I can get it done. I'll lock it up. I'll waive inspection. I'll put down earnest money. I'll do all that. If you want 340, then you got to give me some time. I'll still move it to my buyers and maybe I can get you a buyer, but you can't lock me in with non-refundable. Give me some time. Give me an option or give me some due diligence. Give me 5 days, 7 days. Let me see if I can get it done at your number. But again, I'm not going to put in the effort unless I know I've got an exclusive right to the deal, which is a contract. Now, that would only be if you think maybe you can move it at 350 or something, but it sounds like you're priced out now.
When was the last time you talked to him? Today? Oh, the market changed today? Okay.
This is the 5-bed, 2-bath, 1846 square foot, 1948 build, 55.
All right. Will you take a look at it?
Yes.
Yeah, have Matt look at it. All right. We'll take a look at this and see what the deal is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I got some great questions already, guys. Make sure in the chat, guys, this is live so that you can ask questions. We can get you answers. Also, put in the chat where you are from so you can start connecting with other people that are doing this business. One of the things that, one of the main challenges we have is our inability to change our behavior. It's a lot easier when you're around people who have the behavior that you want, that are doing the things that you want, that have achieved the things that you want, it's because of their behavior. It's because of the things that they've done and the way that they've grown themselves and as business people. And so being around there is being around other people is so critical. Actually, will you guys come up here? Let me see. Look at all these guys. Come up here so everybody can see who's here. Come here. Look at this, Jerry. Look at this. Come on. Got the whole
These are
crew
your diehards.
here.
Yeah, these are your regulars. Let's
Look
go.
at this. Look at that. They're still coming. There we go. Look at
What is it? Guys' night out?
Guys' night out. Awesome. All right, good. Now get out of here. What are you guys doing? This is, you're blocking my Balrog in the back here. All right.
Hey, Brent, I think I'm going to add to my scripts. I'm Arabic. You're Arabic. Let's get a deal done. I like that.
I'm Arabic. You're Arabic. Let's do a deal.
Come on.
He changed it from 310 to 340 in 3 hours. The market's changed, Jerry. Awesome. 12 hours.
I would push that guy. He'll come down.
Yeah. Jerry, here we go. Ashley asks, once you get it under contract and find a buyer, what's next?
Close and get your check. You
You
got to open escrow,
right?
What's that?
You want to get an assignment agreement if you're going to be assigning the deal. Make sure that it's protecting you. Make sure that you're getting non-refundable earnest deposit, because I've sold a lot of deals when I was young in this business and didn't require earnest money immediately. And then the deal was shopped around, and then all of a sudden they disappeared. And then all of a sudden I thought I had a deal sold and it wasn't sold. And I think that that's pretty common when we're getting started, right?
Do you like to open escrow after your AB contract with the seller, or wait until you've got your contract with the buyer?
As soon as that seller signs, we open up escrow.
Exactly.
If we're at the home, we will turbo scan it. It's an app, turbo scan. It turns it into a PDF. You could just do it with your Apple phone. There's ways to do that. You guys can figure that out easily. To turn it into a PDF, send it to the title company and say, hey, it just opened up escrow. And you can leave the purchase agreement behind with them if you want. You know what I mean? And they feel good about that. Or you can send them a copy of it, CC them on that.
Why is it so important
to the title company?
Why is it so important, Brent, to open?
I want to know right away if there's anything that's going to stop us from closing. I want to make sure that we open up the title. We know what we're up against to get past from the title and escrow standpoint. So if there's any lingering liens, if there's some judgments that they didn't know about, if I want to make sure that this is the actual right person to sell this house. Because right now, guys, the big scam is people trying to sell you land, vacant land, for nothing, and they don't own it. They just go, give me 5,000, give me 10,000, give me 2,000, give me $500, and I'll just send you the deed. I'll sign the deed over to you. That's a scam. Everything goes through title, guys. Everything goes through title. And what the title company will do is the title company will make sure they do an identity statement. They make sure that the person signing that purchase agreement is the same person that owns that property. And that's really, really, really important, and something that we don't want to handle. We don't want to deal with. They do all that for us. So I open up escrow as soon as possible because I want to see if there's any obstacles we have to overcome. You as well, Jerry?
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Because I don't want to go through all the hassle and waste all the time when there's an IRS lien or they're not even the owner of record and all that. So definitely.
Yep. Awesome. So actually, hopefully you got one under contract. That'd be awesome. And hopefully you already have your buyer, which is fantastic. Assign it to them. Make sure that they put in their earnest money. I don't care if it's your mom or your grandpa or your brother or your best friend. Make sure they put earnest money deposits down. Lock that deal in, and then just make sure that everybody's moving forward towards the closing date. Moving forward, right? Stay on top of them. Awesome.
Brent, I love this question here by Kathina. Where'd it go? Kathina Campbell. Back a few questions.
Yep, got it.
That's a great question.
Yep. Well, here you go. We just deal with it. We just got one right here, right?
Yeah, that's a scenario there.
340. He's at 310. When the question is, when sellers give you a final number that you can't meet, do you walk away or still try to negotiate with them?
Yeah, I've got a couple thoughts around this. First of all, Brent, I think it's very important that you adopt the mindset that we're in the business of finding motivated sellers, not creating motivated sellers.
Yep.
So that's a big shift in the way that you're looking at the situation. You're not trying to force somebody into a lower price. You're not trying to force them into a deal that works for you and not for them. The best deals are when all the stars align. They're ready to take your fast, convenient cash offer. You're able to get in there with a nice deep buy that you know you're going to win with. You know, I think it's a scarcity mindset to be trying to carve out $2,500, $5,000. I just don't like skinny margins. And I get all my partners and all my wholesale operations. I'm constantly pressuring our team to go deeper, be willing to walk away from the marginal deals, because when we tie up our team and our bandwidth on a 5K deal, what that means is it means we're sucking up all that bandwidth and we're going to miss out on the 40K deal because we're all screwed up doing all these tiny little deals all month long. Yep. And the tiny deals are the hardest deals because they need the most hand holding. They got the most issues. Like, just go find a good deal and be willing to walk, stick at your number. What I found is more times than not, when you're confident in your number and you're willing to get up and walk till you get that number, you end up getting that number. Not every time, but you end up getting that number way more. And I'd rather do 5 deals at 25K average wholesale fee than 10 deals or 20 deals at 5K a profit. Yep. It's just better. Margin over volume is always better, in my opinion.
It's interesting, Jerry. So my disposition manager, Jeremy, just stopped comping for my acquisition team. He's like, I'm not gonna comp for you. You guys comp and go out and lock them up. We went from 25K average to 32K average, 7K bump, right? Because they want the buy number. I want to go in there with confidence that I know what we can offer on this deal, right? Without any cancellations, by the way. That's another big thing.
Because they're a little uncertain, so they just stay deep to make sure they're good, and they walk out of there with the deal still.
And they're willing to walk away.
Yeah.
They're willing to walk away. And Ryan, my acquisition manager, has not gone on an appointment in. Actually, we locked up one, but it was a weird agent referral. He hasn't gone on a single appointment in 9 months where it hasn't been multiple offers.
Yeah. I mean, Brent, if you're not averaging at least 15K a deal, you're probably losing money and you're going to go out of business. You're going to go out of business. Yeah. Because your cost of contract,
unless you're just doing dispo.
Unless you're doing direct to agent only. If you're doing a direct to seller model, you will go out of business if you're anything under 15K.
Yep. Yeah, I think that if you're selling deals for other people and you're getting them without a marketing budget, you're going direct to the agents or getting them off the MLS, that's fine. But I would challenge that. I would say that it's very hard to replace yourself in that business.
Yeah.
If you're not averaging 15K or more.
And that's depending on the market, you know. If you're in Phoenix, you're losing money at 15K.
Yeah. I would say, listen, Jerry hit it. We're deal finders. We're not deal creators, right? The buyer sets the value. What you need to say to everybody, and the mentality that we all have to have is, I'll never tell you what you should sell your house for. I can only tell you what I can buy it for. That's the spot. Right? That's where you have to play. I can't tell you what you should sell it for. If you wanted that, talk to a real estate agent, see what their expert opinion is. For me, this is the price that makes sense to us based on the condition and based on the market circumstances. This is where we're at. And the profit that we want to make on it. And so that's the mentality going into it. You have to be able to walk away, and you have to be able to be really, really, really strong at the discovery process. How do we really understand what's going on in the mind of that seller? What is their problem, and what's the solution that they want? We got to find those out for sure.
I remember, Brent, this was in my flipping business, my fix and flip business, but the same principle applies. I was doing 80 flips a year on average. I was averaging about 80 fix and flips, which is a big operation. But I was doing entry-level homes. I moved out of the like 150 price point, which this was 20 years ago or almost 20 years ago. So different numbers, but same idea.
Yeah.
And I moved from like the 150 up to the 300 to 400 price point. The following year, I still was doing wholesaling, but the following year I did 10 fix and flips, not 80. And I made more money doing 10 than I did doing 80.
That's it. But
And
I think
life
you need
was
to get
way
those
better.
reps, right, Jerry? You got to get those reps in. You got to be able to recognize potential, because if you make that mistake with those 10 flips, it's a problem, right? And I mean, with any of them, but I assume they're higher priced flips, right?
Yeah, I moved up into like the 400 price point instead of the 150 price point. And
So Matt Justice is shaking his head. He says, I don't need to average 15K a deal. Go ahead. Tell us your business.
Yeah, so
Right here.
we're primarily focused on direct to agent and dispoing other wholesalers deals. Our average is about 5K, depending on where it comes from per deal. That's like our total average is 7,500 between both dispo and agents. But I mean, I spend zero in marketing, and I think it's actually easy to still replace myself, because you can go and hire people and they just got to be able to hustle and just go and find deals or be able to go and sell deals. So, I mean, I think it's a great business model, but I agree though. It's like, if you're going direct to seller and you have marketing spend, you definitely need to be hitting the 15K plus average per deal.
But I would still challenge you to pressure against whatever your normal is into whatever the next tier might look like. So if your average per contract across the board is 75, pressure your team to get to 10.
Yeah, that's actually something I was literally pressing on them this month. Like, we have a goal this month to try and hit 130K. We have 70K set to close so far for this month. And so that's exactly what I told them to try and help us get to 130K. Is like, look, when we're dispoing deals, we need to be adding more. When we get deals in from agents, we need to start adding more and just seeing like how much we can actually push stuff out for, because our buyers now are starting to become very loyal to us. Like, literally last week, I had a call with a buyer, and she was like, hey, I know I could go and get this deal from this person, but I don't really like working with them. I'm okay paying 3 to 5K more. So I'm just going to tell you to go and get that deal. And we're most likely going to do that deal today, because they ended up going with another buyer. But they ended up coming back to us. So it looks like we're about to do this deal. But it's like, if you just grow really good relationships, like, these buyers will just come to you and ask for other people's deals because they just want to do it with you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And if you think about it, you know, like, if you're doing a direct to agent or a dispo service and you've got no marketing budget, it's really twice that would be like gross for somebody else, right? So 15K where someone's spending $7,500 price per contract, marketing per contract, is netting where you're already grossing without that. So see what I mean? So that's kind of how you need to look at that, is you're actually way further ahead because you don't have that marketing cost.
Well, let me ask you this, like, with that type of business model, do you think it would be smart to start getting into marketing and like spending money to actually get inbound leads from like doing direct to seller?
I mean, here's how I look at it. Go deep in whatever's working for you. Once it's dialed in and you're out of the operations and you're in the owner box, it's time for you to introduce another leg of revenue. So that might be direct to seller for you now. And you start using Brent and doing some PPC. I mean, that's where Hugh's at. Hugh Boy is at, I just spent the week with him, and they're at like 700, 800,000 for the year direct to agent. And they just started now PPC with Brent, and they're going to open up that leg now, but not until he has it dialed in really, really well. Can he now take on a learning curve, learn a new model, dedicate some dollars to it, hire maybe another acquisitions, whatever it looks like. But as soon as you're ready, I think you definitely should consider direct to seller. You guys might add another $100,000 a month just by doing that.
Right. Yeah. So for both of you, like, for someone that hasn't done direct to seller with like my type of business model, when I get into it, would it be smart for me to hire out immediately for that, or for me to be the ones taking the calls?
I just think you're at a place in your business where I don't know that it's the best use of your time to get back on the phones. Maybe for a minute, but the whole point is that you're trying to run a business, not get back into the trenches. So I don't know. I'm okay if you do it for a second, but what I would do is I'd bring on your guy, and I wouldn't use your same acquisitions team that's doing direct to agent. It's a totally different animal.
Yeah.
If you're doing like PPC, it's a one call close. It's a very urgent type of situation. It's not a nurturing relationship thing. It's a let's get this done for you right now thing. And so I don't think you want to, Brent and I talked about this last week. I don't think you want to mix those two different types of selling, acquisitions people. I'd bring on your heavy hitter acquisitions guy, and I would just shadow with him for 90 days. But you're there with him. You're on the phone. You're auditing the calls. You're working with him. You're helping him. But you're introducing that new marketing channel into your business.
Would you go direct to seller or expand into a different market doing the same strategy he already knows?
That's a great question. That is a really great question. New markets have new.
That's actually right.
Honestly, though, Brent, I mean, if my honest opinion about that is new markets have new nuances and there's an entirely new learning curve.
Yep.
You've got your market dialed in. You've got a dispo team already in place in that market. I think your fastest way to revenue would be to start spending some money on PPC and start driving those high intent leads into your business. Yep. Have a new acquisition guy set up, and you're instantly rolling into deals.
Love it.
I don't know.
That's a great answer.
It's not wrong though. Like you could take your same model, your agent dispo model, and just open another market, and you guys would probably figure it out and you do okay. So that's not wrong either. I'm just saying if you were asking me if a gun was to your head and you had to pick one or the other, I think I might pick staying in your market and just going another marketing channel deep.
What do you think about brand building?
What do you think, Brent?
Well, I think it depends on if you want to build a brand. If you want to build something that you put a moat around your business as things change, and they inevitably will, is the dispo model a growing model or a dying model? There's only one way or the other. Are you going to be able to do more business in the future because of the reputation that you build local and because of the systems that you build, or is technology going to replace you in finding cash buyers for these deals, to getting exposure for these deals? It used to be Chris Iman and maybe one or two other people taking all of the dispo. And then Jamil came. And then Jamil's, everybody that Jamil's trained has come. And so obviously you float to the top by communicating really well, being really good with your numbers, building the relationships with the people. You can build that long term, right?
Are you guys an appointment model? Do you go on appointment at all? Or is it all virtual, like all on the phones?
Oh yeah, it's all virtual, all on the phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're building these relationships with these buyers, right? You're building these relationships with people that are going to buy for a really long time. So that's really, really important. Flipping over to what I do, I mean, we might get a couple Christmas cards here and there from people that we've worked with, but beyond that, they're in the wind. They're gone. It is not this is not like a let's hug each other and make a bunch of money together business. This is the, they're in, they want to sell it and be gone, right? It's a totally different mind. So you gotta figure out in your mind, do you want to add that to your current business, or do you want to take what you do and do it somewhere else? And which one do you think is the better path? And which one do you think will be growing versus dying?
What do you think? Do you think the dispo model is going to start dying?
No, not if you build a reputation. And you already have, you know what I mean? So it's a referral based business. Right. So referrals, this is something that you're doing that I think is missing in a lot of the people that are doing the dispo model, is they're just taking other people's deals and selling them to anybody else and just kind of setting up appointments and running and gunning and kind of treating it like me. You're building these relationships with these buyers. You know exactly what they're looking for. You go and curate the deals for them and see and then I know if it's in Tucson, we're calling you. We're calling you before we blast it, because you probably already have somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's something that's irreplaceable.
Also,
you just have to make sure that you know what I mean?
I would add to that too, if you go direct to seller, the way that we're creating a competitive advantage is we're going back to the basics of appointment. There was this crazy time where everything was virtual, everything was on the phone. It was awesome. Be on the beach while you're doing deals. And that's all fine and dandy and amazing. But we're in a highly competitive market. Wholesaling is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That seller's probably talking to 2 or 3 other people. So I highly believe today, I don't know if this will always be the case, but we try to go on appointment with those sellers and get belly to belly. So it just is going to give you that one more edge to where you have a competitive advantage. Because if Brent's guys go on appointment and I'm on the phone talking to them, Brent's going to walk out of there with a contract every time because he can make a connection I can't make on the phone. See how that works?
What I'm saying, Jerry. It's a much different skill. It's a much different, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, either way, like if I go direct to seller or go into a different market, regardless, it's a learning curve, because every market has its own nuances that you need to learn. You got to find the big players regardless.
I think you're forced to do this though, because here's why. The agent model is finite, right? There's only so many agents and so many listed properties. To a certain extent. Now, maybe Jamil would argue with me on this, because they can sit down on unlimited, listing appointments and there's so many deals out there. But you know what I mean? There's only so many agents that you can connect with. So once you start going direct to seller, there's an infinite amount of motivated seller lead types and marketing channels. And you open up an entirely different world of opportunity when you go direct to seller on acquisition. So you don't need to leave your market if you're feeling like you're kind of capping out, like, man, we're sort of hitting our ceiling with agents and dispo. In order to grow, we need to open another market. You could just open another marketing channel and hit an entirely different segment of sellers that you're not touching right now, right? And stay in your same backyard and stay in your same playground. What that does, I think, is it continues to build your brand. Because now you just get more known with your buyers, more known in the market. You're getting Google reviews now on that stuff. You're starting to show up on page 1 on Google with your company name. In time, all those things start to happen, and SEO starts playing a role. It's just you're investing in your market when you stay.
Right.
What does your gut tell you?
I don't know. I've been so 50-50 on this. This is something I've been thinking about for like the last 3 months. Yeah. I'm like, man, what do I do? Go direct to seller or open up a new market? Because it's like, I mean, with all the communities and everything, we could sell deals pretty much anywhere, And so I don't know. Either way, I'm excited about it. It's growth, opportunity. It's super cool to be in this position. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll probably try and make a decision before the end of the year.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Keep us posted.
Cool. Heck yeah. Well.
Give it up. Do you know what's going on here, Jerry? Edwin Nunez. Hey, Brent, the New York City Council is proposing to eliminate forced real estate broker fees. Do you have any insight or see this happening in any other markets? If it has,
I have not, but I'll definitely do some research on that. I have not heard about what that's all about. Maybe elaborate a little bit more. What do you mean by forced?
Yeah, Edwin, explain to us what eliminate forced real estate broker fees. I don't know if any real estate broker fees have been forced, but maybe it's a different thing in New York. I don't know. Let us know on that. That'd be awesome. Did you have a question you wanted to get to, Jerry?
No. Whatever you got.
Times Masquerade asks, any thoughts on land flipping as the new gold rush?
Well, I don't know if it's a new gold rush. I mean, that's been around forever. It does seem to be getting some attention. I mean, the great thing about flipping land is you do have a lot less competition and you have a steady buyer in most markets. I shouldn't say most markets. This definitely is a market specific thing. But yeah, land is a great way to flip where you get to eliminate the house. So less to analyze. There's these big builders and developers and spec flippers. They love land deals. So, just be careful, I would say, of shiny object syndrome. Like when I see this gold rush, what I'm seeing is, oh, this is going to be the new thing. Oh, this is better than houses. Oh, this will be easier, faster. I'll make more money. And it's like anything, you know, you got to invest in it. You got to learn how to do it. You got to get good at it. You got to put your time in, right? Just like houses or any other strategy, it takes an investment of time, energy, and effort and skill to really get good at it. But it's just like everything else. It's just one more opportunity to make money in real estate.
Well, listen, if you want to build a virtual business, land is fantastic for that, right? I have never gone to just a lot to walk around with somebody on a land deal. You could just pull up Google and there you go. And Dimitri Van Camp is in the chat here. He lives in Belgium, guys. He's doing deals in Florida. He does hundreds of deals all over the phone, over email, and loves land. And most of those deals are land, and he's doing bigger land deals. So if land's something that you are interested in, just understand that there's a smaller pool of buyers for it. You have to know who's buying land in the area. You have to know that it's not going to be a bidding war typically on these deals. I have found that in our business, except for the stuff that's been really good areas, the land deals seem to be a bit lower, probably a third lower in total income that we get from it. And so they're just smaller deals typically. It just depends. I mean, you could do a monster deal and throw
there's really three different types of land buyers, and you got to make sure you understand what you're dealing with. There's land banking is what they call it. And these are people that like to buy land on the outskirts of town and just sit on it. So they're just parking their money and they're hoping that, you know, the town's going to expand and Walmart's going to come in and they're going to offer them millions of dollars for their land. And it's just a place to park money on an up and coming area, but they have no intent to do anything with it. The second type is what we call mini ranch. And these are just people who buy land a couple hours away and they want to take their four-wheelers, they want to shoot guns, they want to put their ATVs, and it's just a recreational type of purchase. And those people, by the way, they buy and then they're also great sellers because they don't use it and then they sell it to you at a discount. So you have land banking, mini ranches, and then you have spec flippers. And I actually do that one. I buy that one and I wholesale that one. And these are in your hot markets where they're doing new construction flips. And this is where a lot of these are infill lots, we call it, or they're teardowns. And like this is almost all of my Scottsdale deals were teardowns. So it was an old 80s home, a ranch with low ceilings. It's an acre lot. We buy it, we tear it down and build a $5 million house. You know, that's spec flipping, and there's deals for that. There's ways to flip that type of land too. So what are you dealing with? Who's your buyer? Understand how you're going to find those deals and who you're going to market them to.
Yeah, love it. Here's a good one. BT Cruza asks, have you noticed any change in skip trace quality after many companies are switching to free skip traces?
Yeah, I think skip tracing is becoming a commodity. You know, it's becoming the next thing. You know, we offer amazing packages with prop wire, and we're seeing everybody else kind of move in that direction. So, yeah, I mean, skip tracing is a funny thing to me, Brent, because people will do segmented samples of skip tracing, and then they'll base their entire decision off of that, 100 skip traces they did. And skip tracing's hit or miss. You know, I think you can never really expect better than 70% return, and success rate is pretty good. So, there's a lot of different services out there. We're always testing new services because we buy it in bulk direct.
Do you guys do skip tracing? Anybody here? No? Anybody? Have you seen any difference in the quality? Yeah, 70% of the services are going to be the same.
Yeah, it's funny. You'll see a thread like on Facebook, and you'll see some people saying this service sucks, this service sucks. In the same post, you'll see this service is awesome, this service is awesome. Two totally different responses on the same service.
First, tell them what you just said about the skip tracing, and then ask your question.
Oh, I think the complaints are like just another reason not to do the work. It's pretty simple.
Agreed.
I would agree with that.
But my name's JP. I do direct seller in California. I'm here with the Triner brothers. Recently started an agent outreach model this year just because we felt like in California that was a market that was not taking advantage of. What we come across now that I believe is very challenging, we get a lot of great deals sent to us by agents that another wholesaler has locked up. And we still have room to put 15, 20, sometimes even 25K on top, but they all want a 5-day close. And that's the biggest challenge we're coming across right now. Obviously, we just end up passing on them because 5-day close, no inspection period. We don't really have an opportunity to work it. So what would be the best approach to the agent as far as, hey, I know you made a great point earlier. It was Jerry, as far as I need a contract to even invest my time into this. But that 5-day close, I mean, how can I handle that?
So help me understand. When you say a 5-day close, is that you said it's under contract already with a wholesaler and you're trying to JV it, or you're saying the agent wants a 5-day close?
So based off of my understanding, this deal is already under contract with another wholesaler or agent, but this agent somehow now got their hands on this deal and they're just helping sell the deal. And all of them are insisting for a 5 to 7 day close with no inspection period.
Can you see the contract?
No, they don't even ever send it. They just ask us, can you close on this in 5 days? Yes or no. And the obvious answer is always no, because we don't really know what we're working with. And we end up passing on a lot of those deals, but I can see that we can make money on top of those.
What I would do, here's my guts telling me that they had a 30-day close and they're not getting the deal done. And now they're running out of time and they're at the wire and it's a Hail Mary with you to try to get it done. I bet you if you track those, they're going to go back on market and you'll have a shot directly with the agent at getting that contract. Now they're even more motivated because it fell out.
Are these on market?
No, they're off market.
Off market.
Oh, they're off market. Yeah. So, but I bet you the same thing still applies, Brent. They're probably just out of time on their contract.
Yeah, I think it's a filtering mechanism that they're using. They want to know that you can close fast. So I don't know if it's necessary that they're going to put that on the contract, on the assignment that you're going to close in 5 days, unless they already own it. I would look at who owns the property. If it's not them, what does the purchase agreement look like? You're saying, yeah, I'll commit to the assignment, but I need to know what I'm getting assigned. Can I have the purchase agreement?
So would it be smart at that point just to ask for the assignment?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to look at it.
Like, send it over. I got this covered.
They can
go with supreme confidence and then see what's going on there.
Yeah.
They got to give you enough time to at least understand when is it closing? Who's the title company? Is title clear? Is it ready to close in 5 days? Is the seller ready? Is it vacant or occupied? You know what I mean? Like you can get into some of these things, but get them on the phone. Don't just do text.
And right? what was the contract date? Because
that's what I'm saying.
If it was a 30-day, if it was a 30-day close and they're bringing it to you with 5 days left on the contract, well, that's sort of a them problem, not a you problem.
Yeah, I think with you just adding that perspective of they're just running out of time gives me a lot more leverage. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Give it up. Great questions. Great questions so far. Great questions. Max has put this question a bunch, so we'll go. Can you give me more info on the land? A family member has 40 acres in Arizona desert, and I was thinking of a succulent nursery on part of it.
In Arizona? What are you going to grow? Tumbleweed?
Yeah, I mean, Max, it just depends on where the land's at. If it's out in the middle of nowhere, here's the rule of thumb. I'll make it super easy for you. See how much the tax assessed value is on that property and offer 10% of the tax assessed value if it's in the middle of nowhere. If the tax assessed value is $4,000, offer them $400. If it's $4 million, offer them $400,000. It's not going to be typically, but that's where you want to be. And especially if it's just like raw rural land, like it has to be a no-brainer deal. It has to be almost like they're giving it to you for free. So one, find out what price they expect, and two, use that rule of thumb if it's out in the middle of nowhere. Now, if it's in town, typically you want to be about 10% of what a brand new house would sell for. So they put a house on there that is $450,000. You want to go at $450,000, and you'll probably sell that for. You want to be at $45,000, and you'll probably sell that for $55,000, maybe $60,000 to a builder. But typically builders want to stay within that 10 to 15% range of what a new house will sell for. And obviously that affects if it's, a neighborhood that's 150,000 for a new house in the area, you want to be at like basically $500 because you're selling it for like 10 grand. And so, and you're probably going to sell it to a neighbor for $5,000. Let's be honest. So, 10% of what a brand new house will sell for if it's in town, 10% of the tax assessed value if it's out of town. There's obviously nuance to that, but that'll get you pretty close. All right. Here you go, Jerry. Chris and Vanessa asked, what formula do you use to determine a good deal? Is it different for on market versus off market?
Well, I mean, your exit, whether it's on market or off market. So I don't know that really plays into it. You know, a buyer is going to pay what they're going to pay. And yeah, I mean, there's different ways to look at your exit. So the biggest thing you got to ask yourself is, what are buyers willing to pay for a property like this in this neighborhood or market? And that's your job as a wholesaler to figure that out. And it's going to be different everywhere based on price point and demand and all the things. What does a buyer want to pay for this property in this market? Whatever that number is, that exit number to a buyer, subtract my wholesale fee, whatever I want to make on the deal, and that's where I need to acquire it. So wholesaling, when you really strip it down to the bare bones, it's what will a buyer pay less my fee equals my buy price. And this is where every single wholesaler has to become a master in their market. They have to invest in their market. I can tell you, is that going to be a landlord that buys that? Is that going to be a flipper that buys that? Are they buying at 78 cents on the dollar, 82 cents on the dollar? You know, when I talked to Hugh out here, when he came out to Puerto Rico and I sat down with Hugh, you know what he does? This guy's brilliant. He goes back and they track every single deal they wholesale. They follow that deal all the way to the flip when the cash buyer fixes it up and flips it. And then they reverse back to their acquisition or their exit price to the buyer, and they figure out what's my average percentage right now at any rolling time that buyers pay. And right now in Atlanta, it was like 78% is where they're at. So he knows his formula is ARV times 78% less the rehab number, less my wholesale fee equals my buy price. But how does he know that? Because he's investing and taking the time to figure out what are the buyers paying so that I can know how to put deals together.
The number one skill to develop first, guys, is what will this sell for totally fixed up? We call it after repaired value. But this is the toughest part because you get that number wrong, either up or down, and it's going to throw off your deal big time. This is you should look at every comping video that Jerry has, everyone that I have, certainly everyone that Jamil has, and really get good at understanding, okay, in this subdivision, in this area, the highest sale that's similar to this property went for this price. And that's where you base it off of. But that is the toughest part. And then it just what you subtract from there is determined by what your buyers are paying. And you don't need to know that up front. You just have to know typically if it's in a very populated area, it's going to be anywhere from 82% to 75%. If you're in a major market, it's going to be somewhere in there. It's going to be 82 to 75. Here in certain parts of Scottsdale, Tempe, Phoenix, it's 82%. We know that like the back of our hand. Minus repairs, minus what you want to make on it is your max allowable offer. All right, so there's a little bit of play between 82 and 75. Now, if it's rural, if you live in a place that has 100,000 people or less, maybe 200,000 people or less, it's going to be closer to 70% minus repairs. Okay, and this is really important to know. Now, if you're in San Diego, if you're in Seattle, if you're in Denver, if you're in Miami, if you're in some of these markets where everybody wants to live in these certain areas, and there's a lot of economy there, you could go probably 100% minus repairs because somebody's going to want to live there, or somebody's going to add on to it, or somebody's going to do something. So there is nuance to it. I understand that that's frustrating, but if you understand what is the highest that this will sell for, once it's fixed up, once you get that part done, you can start getting really good at, is it 82? Is it 80? Is it 78? Is it 75? Is it 70? What is it? It's usually not lower than 70% minus repairs. If you want to make this very, very, very simple, You're going to get really close here. If it's above 250,000, offer 50%. If it's between 250,000 and 100,000, offer 35%. And if it's under 100,000, you want to be around 10%. So it's 10, 35, 50. It's going to get you pretty close. In major markets, it's not going to work for you as well, but it's going to get you pretty close. And that's what I say. Understanding what the top value, what the top potential is so critical. You don't cross major streets. You don't go with a house that was built in the 60s with something that was built 10 years ago. You don't go with a 1-story with a 2-story. You don't do these things. You don't do a duplex versus a townhouse. You don't do a single family house versus a condo. It's got to be like for like. And guys, we have unlimited videos. But I think, Jerry, that is the number one benefit of having a mentor, having somebody that can quickly evaluate a deal and give you a buy number, is they can understand what is the top level. And that's what people don't understand. If you don't have that person, maybe it's a dispo guy. A lot of people just go straight to the Matt Justice and the Jamils, and they go, hey, listen, you're going to sell this deal for me, but what is my buy price? What can I buy this thing at? There's a whole industry for that. You don't want to get a mentor. You think it's a scam. You don't want to be in like communities and do that. I get it. I totally get it. Live your life. Do your thing. At least get somebody that's going to dispo and look at your numbers when you're starting out to let you know what's a deal and what's not a deal. And then when you pay those guys, dispo guys, 10, 15, 20,000, you could have got a really killer coach and mentor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, Brent. So this past week I spent with Jamil, and we were doing like live calls, and I thought I was pretty good at like comping and getting the values. Jamil is so freaking good and so fast.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like he had his number, and then he's like, okay, Jerry, I got my number. Where's your number at? And I'm like, give me a second, Jamil. I'm still working on it, And then like, I don't know, 60 seconds later, or a minute and a half later, I'd have my number. It was like, I was always right there with him. So I knew I was on track, and it was great to kind of do it together. But that guy can comp so fast. And it's just because he's done it so many times. Yep. He's invested in that skill set. He teaches it extensively on his YouTube channel. And guys, like, you want to be a master at something, do it 1,000 times, do it 10,000 times. Follow the 10,000 hour rule, and you will become so fast at it, and you'll know instantly what those numbers are in your market.
So Rodolfo, longtime member of the audience here that participates in the chat. He's part of the Rhino Tribe. Him and Marcelo just closed a deal, 245,000.
Whoa! Let's go!
Profit.
Are you kidding me?
Profit. That's their profit on a deal. And split that up however they did. But how about that, guys? Give some love in the comments. Rodolfo went, listen to this, Jerry. And this isn't just for everybody out there and being like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. This guy's insane. I think he went 14 months cold calling 3 hours a day before he did his first deal. Every day.
What a beast.
I am telling you, it is guaranteed. Eventually, it's just you cannot lose unless
you can't lose. No, that guy can't lose.
If you talk to enough people, and by the way, he's in Miami.
Yeah,
Jerry. I mean, what kind of a fist fight is Miami? I mean, that whole thing is crazy. Closed it. Did an incredible job. Everybody in the chat, give him some love.
I want that guy when we're down by 3 and bases are loaded and it's the 9th inning and you're at 2 strikes. I want that guy at bat. You know what I mean? Like that's the guy I want. Because that's a warrior there. That's a fighter, man.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, he literally is. I mean, you should see him. He's shredded. He looks like a fighter. He's like one of those CrossFit freaks. Anyway, he's incredible. I believe what it was an inherited property. Property is totally trashed. They thought that there was a tremendous amount of liens. He got like hundreds of thousands of dollars in liens to like $2,000.
So this was a wholesale, Brent.
Yeah. Well, he took it down. He closed on it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then put it on them. I suggested that he close on it, put it on the MLS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And that goes, listen, there are some liens that you can negotiate. There are some liens that you can negotiate and remove. Now, mortgages, no. Property taxes, no. Maybe IRS, maybe not. Dimitri said after 10 years they fall off. I believe
Brent,
Dimitri.
I'll never forget something you said to me when I first met you years and years ago. You said the deal of a lifetime comes around once a month.
Once a week.
Once a week. That's right.
Once a week.
When you're in the game.
Yep.
You got to be in the game.
It truly does. And this is just, and by the way, he closed another 40K deal this month as well. You know what I mean? Momentum matters.
Yeah.
Momentum. Keep it going. Stay focused. Pick a lane. You know what I mean? Just like you were. You built
Rodolfo,
up
I want to interview you on my channel. Reach out to me. I want to talk to you about your deal. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Rodolfo, definitely do that. He's awesome. Yeah. Congratulations. Ryan asks, hey guys, I have money, but no time. How should I get started wholesaling? I'm not sure I have enough experience to train a VA. Thanks for your direction. Love you, Brent and Jerry. We love you too, Ryan. Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, by the way, don't feel bad, Ryan. Like that's most of us when we get into this business, time or some time and no money. So all that means is it means you got to start in the business with zero cost and then low cost strategies. And there's lots of them. And you just got to put in that work. And then eventually, if you keep reinvesting in your business, you'll be at a level like Brent Daniels where you can dump a lot of money into very, very, very expensive, but very lucrative marketing that's going to get you fast results and deep buys, right? And that's PPC and there's other things, but you just start where you're at, which means free. Free could be driving for dollars, door knocking, agent outreach.
He says he has money, but no time, Jerry.
Oh, I got it backwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have money, but no time. Okay. Well, then you're in a completely different predicament. I mean, I would be asking, is wholesaling even the right move? I would really be questioning, why do you want to do wholesaling? So let's get clear about that, because that might not even be the right strategy. I mean, you tell me, Brent, if you know Ryan very well, but wholesaling is that strategy where we're trying to create, really high income really fast with low risk. Is we build a wholesale operation, and if we do it right, we can make hundreds of thousands of dollars profit, monthly. And so, but are you saying you have enough money to invest in marketing and systems and a team, but you're busy with a career, or like what's really going on there? I guess I would need a little more insight.
Yeah.
But you could skip some of the steps and go right to the big leagues, really. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah, Ryan. Again, perfect, Jerry. You have to really understand what the goal is, right? Are you looking to replace your income? And you're just tired of your job. You're tired of that. You want to get into real estate full time. Great. Wholesaling is fantastic for that. That is the method that you use. That is the vehicle, baby. Get on in. If it's one of those, well, I just want to get good deals and I want to either flip them or I want to hold them in my portfolio, just connect with a wholesaler and buy their deals. And you don't have to go and hunt for those opportunities. You could do that. Now, if you are wanting to replace your income and go full time in this, and you have no sales skills at all, you have no sales experience, you're like, I don't know, you're an engineer and you don't pre-qualify a lot of people, you're not understanding and doing a lot of discovery and conversations or something, or whatever else. I mean, not to single out engineers, but I would partner with a real estate agent and I would do PPL. I would do pay per lead. And the reason I would work with an agent is because there's a few different benefits there. One, they probably have the sales skills to be able to convert these into signed agreements. And then you could develop that over time if you don't have those sales skills. And two, they could list properties that come across as a PPL that are more retail based and maybe pour more money into the PPL pot with you, like a partnership, right? But that would free you up to be able to spend the money. They get the leads. They can respond within 30 seconds. That's what's so critical about inbound leads. And if you have a budget, you need at least $2,000 a month, minimum. So you have $2,000 or more a month, $2,000 to $5,000. That's where you want to be in PPL. After $5,000, you can get into PPC. But between that $2,000 and $5,000, it's coming in. You got your agent taking the calls. You have the agent pre-qualifying. Either you or him go out on the appointment and make him a cash offer and or list the property. That's what I would do, Ryan. Boom.
Awesome. Great answer, man.
Awesome. Hold on. Boom. I've got through all these. Here we go. Richard asks, does getting the earnest money open up escrow, and does the buyer send the earnest money deposit to the title company?
Yes. Yes. Typically when you see earnest money, that's mostly a direct to agent thing, because agents always require earnest money. And typically it's going to be significant. You know, you can count on anywhere from $500 to 1% of the price is typically what you'll see. Direct to seller, you don't always see earnest money. Now, we like to offer earnest money because we use it as a selling feature. In other words, hey, are your other offers you're getting, are they giving you earnest money? Oh, they're not? Well, you know, we do, and here's why that's valuable. So we use it as a sales tactic because we can. But a lot of sellers aren't expecting earnest money. So it's not that it's necessarily required. But typically then you're going to open escrow. And then when you get your buyer's going to pay non-refundable earnest money. And we always get that. And we always make it significant. It's got to be impactful. It's got to be enough to where that buyer's not going to walk if they change their mind. So we like to do $5,000 in earnest money, sometimes $10,000.
Yep.
Right. So that they're really serious and it's non-refundable. And yes, they have to submit that to the same title company we opened escrow with the seller. You're going to want to verify that they turn that earnest money in, that it's there. You're not really going to count that a deal until that earnest money is in escrow. But yes, that's typically how that works.
Yeah. Earnest money deposit is a fun knob to turn when you're negotiating with a property owner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, every time somebody submits an offer, and they do it virtually, Jerry, and they offer the seller and they go, here's $10 earnest money deposit.
I love
we
that.
walk in and we go, come on. They're just messing with you, right? Yeah. That's supposed to be 10,000, or is that supposed to be $10? They're willing to risk $10 to show you that they're real and they're serious about this.
Yeah.
What if we gave you 1,000? Oh, that's much better. Great. I'll sign here. You sign there. There we go. Right. Earnest money. I remember I would go in aggressive on deals. 10,000 non-refundable earnest deposit immediately released to you in 72 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
After
like
title.
What buyer is going to do that? That's not serious. And so, or wholesaler that's going to do that. That's not serious. So you can play around with that. And see if that's something that's important. I think it's one of the lowest on the seller's minds, to be honest. I mean, sometimes if they're former real estate agents, they're going to ask for it, or attorneys or something like that. They're going to ask for more earnest deposit, but it really means nothing because you have an inspection period. So if you cancel within the inspection period, you still get your earnest money deposit back. So it's, you know, it really, it's more of like a flash. It's more to be flashy. It's more to be dramatic than it is actual function, but it's something to play around with for sure. Close of escrow date, closing sooner for them being able to stay in the house, releasing money early to them. Jerry, I'm about to redo my TV ad, and I'm going to say, you know, if you qualify, we'll give you up to $10,000 before we even close on the house.
Genius.
Right. Yeah. Just
powerful.
To get, right. And then all of a sudden you get a lot more calls and a lot more opportunities.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how it goes. And
Thomas Simmons asked, why does it matter in a mutual release state? So you guys that don't know, mutual release means that earnest money sits in escrow until both seller and buyer agree to release it. I can't tell you how much money I have stuck in escrow right now because the buyer defaulted and they want their earnest money back, and I won't agree to release it because it should go to me because they defaulted on their contract. But it still matters because that buyer's not getting it. So even though you're not getting it, it's still tied up. So they put $10,000 down, $5,000 down, whatever, even if it's a mutual release date, it's going to push their commitment to the deal, which is why we still want to do that.
Awesome. John asks, great advice. Which PPL companies work well in the Northeast? Property Leads. We've got a little ttpleads.com if you want to support us. TTP Leads is our affiliate link for that, or you could just go to Property Leads. It's up to you. We found that they've been really great. I had a conversation with the Lead Zolo guys. They're very interesting. They came into my community and spoke to us last week, and they're doing some really cool things. They're kind of all, they get YouTube, they get Facebook, and they get SEO and pay-per-click leads. If you don't understand any of that stuff, don't worry about it. It's, some of it's intent-based leads versus interruption leads. Intent's going to be the best. That's why PPC is the top, besides referrals. One rung down is PPC, and then PPL. And so that's, ttpleads.com there for you, John. And then there was a great question. Where did that go? Oh, this is real. What do you think about this, Jerry? Next Step Offers, LLC. How are you guys handling the text restrictions and the rise in DNC cases being filed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to get sued. I don't know about you, Brent. So,
Nope.
I try to keep my nose clean. And this is something that we're seeing more of. They're coming down hard on texting. So, I mean, it was a fun day while we had it and we could do it because it was so cheap and it was so effective. But I think this is kind of a strategy of the past. I mean, we're steering away from it because we don't want to get sued. We don't want to be paying the fines.
Yep. And listen, with all the announcements of the FTC changes coming late January, I don't think it really affects too much of like business as usual. But what it does do is it increases the amount of litigators that want to jump in, put their hat into the ring of real estate investors and real estate.
What the pace?
What up, everybody?
What up, man?
Wholesale Hotline.
What are we doing? Eating a hoagie?
You got a stub?
Yeah, dude. I've just been doing a couple 1,000-person challenge, just calling agents today and locking up deals and helping newbies get their first deal. Live audience, say hi. Live audience. So what I just did is I put 100 teams together across the country with 10 newbies on every single team, and we are doing a challenge. Today was day one. It was a lot of fun. So I was like, I have 20 minutes. Let me tune in and see my best friends.
Awesome.
Pace, I
see
see
live audience here.
Oh, hold on a second.
Now it's my turn. Hey, kids, come on.
Oh, Jerry beat us all. He's got 17 kids. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. How does my life get any better? I have the best friends on the planet.
What do you think of this? What do you think about this space?
I see No Shave November's going good.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to. My wife said I was not the burly man she thought I was, so I'm trying to grow out one of them Jerry Norton beards. It's good.
That thing's legit.
It sounds like Brent, you have a question.
I have an interesting question for you, Guy. What are your thoughts on trust acquisition? I'm part of a group that really focuses hard and wanted to know your thoughts.
Trust acquisition. Okay. I think this is a really niche business model. I love it. I think you got to be hyper intelligent, and I think you got to be credible. So what you're doing is you're going around, you're basically buying an entire portfolio or a series of assets that are inside of somebody else's trust. Why would you do this? You do this because it saves taxes for the family that you're buying it from, and it is amazing. But you're not going to do this as a newbie. You're not going to do this even as like a mid-sized person. This is a more advanced strategy for people that are focusing on trust acquisition. You're talking to attorneys. Okay. When you start talking to attorneys and people, you got to have a little bit of money. Okay. You got to have your own attorney that knows how to convey all of these things over so that there's not tax events that are triggered. It's a great strategy, but it's not meant for everybody.
Jerry.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I think, I'm wondering if this is more to get around wholesaling or assignments, put things into trusts and then sell that trust to somebody else. I think
it's the same thing with like due on sale clause. What happens is people try and get around it. It's like, dude, just buy the property or do a lease option or let's do an installment method or whatever. Like a trust thing costs money. Putting a trust together does cost money. Also, going to a buyer and saying, hey, just so you know, I'm going to sell you a trust rather than a house. I think definitely it can work, but guys, you're going to buyers who are fixing and flipping houses. Is it working? I'm sure it does, but this is not the norm. And so it's a niche within a niche within a niche. And it's going to just cause you to go a little bit slower. I just say either double close on the property, close on the property with a hard money loan, and just sell the freaking property. Like, why are you trying to complicate it?
In LLC is way easier. Why not just do an LLC? That's what I do. What's the benefit of a trust?
It's always a land trust guy. It's always, I guarantee you it's somebody in Florida.
Yeah. Courtney asked,
it's always Florida. It's Ron LeGrand out there trying to sell land trust. He's genius. I love it.
Everybody pushes wholesaling to start in REI. I have no interest in cold calling and no sales background. What do you suggest?
This is too easy.
What do you think?
Boy, Pace could have wanted a better time.
I mean, why not? Okay, dang it, Courtney. I freaking wish I could just talk to you, because I would say, like, you don't want to cold call, but there's a lot of different ways to generate leads in real estate. One of the best ways to generate leads in real estate is this. Oops. Why not just go to real estate agents on market? Okay, you can go to propwire.com. You can find on-market properties, and you can send out offers to these agents, cash and creative finance. The agents will reach back out to you if they're interested, and then that way you're not cold calling. Get over the cold calling thing. Oh my gosh, Courtney, I wish I could talk to you right now. How many calls did I actually talk to today?
I don't know.
Nathan, that would give you a cue to go to the live audience. Live audience, do we have a microphone that we can pull up? Who has the live microphone? Man, y'all are slacking, like straight up slacking. Trisha. John, you were in here most of the time?
I wasn't here the whole time, but I think when I was in here, it was like 4.
Okay, I made 4 calls. And out of those 4 calls that you watch me make, how much money for the rest of my life could I make just from those 4 calls?
Over 10 million.
John says 10 million.
Over.
Did you feel like I could build an entire business off of just 4 relationships with agents that I called today?
Yes, for sure.
So literally after 4 calls, a lot of people will go, I need to build a full-time business. It takes 8 hours a day. That is not true. For the most part, if you're calling agents, you can build an entire referral-based business with real estate agents.
That's cold calling though, Pace. She has no interest in that.
You know, I look at cold calling as sitting there calling people that I don't know have interest in selling a property to me. If somebody's in foreclosure, if somebody's in probate, something along those lines, remember, here's what's cool, Courtney. You are the customer, not them. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're trying to buy something. Okay, I'm not going house to house to house trying to sell insurance and cold calling on people that I don't know whether they want insurance or not. I'm calling people that I already know want to sell their property. And I'm saying, hey, I already know you want to sell your property. It'd be like, well, I want to buy a car. Great, where do you go? Go to Craigslist. Okay, but I don't want to cold call these people. Think about that. Think about that. If I want to buy a truck today, could I go on Facebook Marketplace and see a truck?
Sure.
Yeah, but I can't buy it because I don't want to cold call.
They're already asking you to call.
They're already asking you to call. Trisha Flake, gosh dang it, what a great answer. They're already asking you to call, Courtney. It's not cold calling when they're asking you, please be my customer. Okay, so I would get over that mental thing.
I would challenge too, Pace and Brent, the idea, Courtney, around no sales background. Whether you're cold calling or doing any type of inbound, outbound marketing, sales is just a skill that you want to develop, and you want to put that at the forefront of everything you're doing, because you will always need persuasion. You're always going to need to sell your vision to your employees, your team.
Bro,
your
she's
partners.
a woman. How is she not have sales experience, bro?
You do. You probably do have great sales skills.
You
just
do your
don't
hair. That's a sales presentation. You are selling people on yourself. Is that not correct?
Yeah. So
100%.
you want to, if you've got some sort of negative connotation around sales, I would really work on that mindset, because being good at sales is the greatest skill you'll ever possess. Like, that's not something to be ashamed of or afraid of or think something bad about that. If that's icky to you, then you're going to show up really poorly around everything you're doing, because sales is everything you're doing, not just wholesaling, but whatever you end up doing, it's sales. So
Hey,
embrace
Jerry,
that.
does your wife ever sell you on ideas when you don't know it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, that's every conversation we have is this is what I want and think and believe. And right. I mean, that's sales. Here's why, and follow me with this vision. And so, I mean, that's all sales is persuasion.
Yeah, I think what is the goal, Courtney? If people are pushing you, then nobody wants to be pushed. What are you getting pulled to? What are you interested in? Are you just interested in having a portfolio? Are you independently wealthy, or do you have excess funds that you can purchase rental properties responsibly? Can you do that? Then do that. You know what I mean? That's awesome. Are you looking to replace your income with real estate? Well, then that's a different thing. Do you want to be an agent? Do you want to be a flipper? Do you want to be a wholesaler? How do you get active income coming in? Do you want to be a transaction coordinator? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different avenues there. I guess it just depends on what the goal is. If anybody's pushing you towards to start wholesaling as REI, you're going to fight getting pushed. I fight getting pushed, at least. So maybe I'm just putting my own personal perspective in here, but if you don't want to have a lot of conversations with people and make a lot of offers, then maybe buy properties from wholesalers and flip them or put them in your portfolio.
I like that. I also like the transaction coordinator thought. In fact, I've got one of my transaction coordinators with me right here. Jade, look at the camera.
Hey
guys, this is what a transaction coordinator looks right here. By the way,
I always
we all
wondered.
look different, but yes.
we all look different. Okay.
They only come in this form.
They all come in this form. Okay, Jade, you also have beautiful hair. Is that not part of your sales presentation?
It is absolutely part of my sales presentation, and I write it off on my taxes because.
Oh, really?
I really do.
So I should get my hair did.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so as a transaction coordinator, do we have a lot of people that learn how to do transaction coordination that don't want to be cold callers?
Absolutely.
Give me one or two things that's great about being a TC instead of being a Pace Morby.
You don't have to find the deals. They just show up.
You help keep the chaos at bay.
Oh, 100%.
I think Ella Ray does a lot of TC work for Jerry Norton. She's trained by Molly and you.
She does.
How good? What does Ella Ray do for you, Jerry?
She's so good, just keeps the glue together, and I can move on to other deals while she's dealing with all the issues and keeping everybody happy. And Pace, I did a deal with Ella where the seller was so impressed with how Ella helped the transaction get to the finish line because it had code violations and all these issues that she asked title if she could pay Ella's TC fee instead of the buyer. And she bumped the fee and took the fee from the buyer, and the seller paid it just because she was so thrilled with Ella and all she did to help her. And I don't even know what was going on because I don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah. So the point there, Courtney, that Jerry and Brent and myself are trying to make is that there's a lot of ways to make money on a real estate transaction. In fact, I've found 51 different ways to make money on a real estate transaction. And real estate is very diverse. We're very lucky. We get to collaborate with each other. And transaction coordinators is a really good one. We have a lot of stay-at-home moms that are making $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year just working from home, handling transactions for people like Jerry, handling transactions for people like Brent and Jamil, or handling. How many TCs do we have on our team?
6.
We have 6 full-time TCs working for my company. Like, that's how many transactions that we're doing and helping people with. And so they're a very, very needed group of people. So make sure that it's cool to listen to people about wholesale. I think wholesale was the greatest thing that happened to me in my life, truly. Without it, I wouldn't have found my calling. I've made so much money in wholesale. A lot of the things I learned in wholesale have compounded and conveyed into new things I'm doing today. But not everybody's meant to wholesale. Some people are meant to make the transaction actually go all the way through. In fact, when I didn't have a transaction coordinator and I did 10 transactions on my own, 3 of them would close escrow. When I brought a transaction coordinator into the same 10 transactions, 7 of them would close escrow. So transaction coordinators bring tremendous value to the real estate world. So just FYI.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean you can't be a incredible real estate investor. I mean, talk about having front row seat to the best deals in the marketplace. You know, you could find partners, you can raise money, you could talk to whoever you're working with that you're running their transactions and tell them what you're looking for, and then just start cherry picking some deals off for long-term wealth. So that's what you're looking
to
for.
Landon Moore's comment on the side chat. Nathan, you can even click on it. Yeah, Landon Moore, good to see you, brother. One of my good friends, love him so much. Landon Moore is a great leader in the Subto community. His wife just became a TC, made her first $4,000 in her first month. Guess what? They just had a baby. She can work from home while Landon's doing his own deals. You can make money from working from home without being the person cold calling, right? So just FYI, write that down, transaction coordinator. I would go, how can people learn how to be a top tier transaction coordinator? Do you know?
I have a link.
Okay. Well, I would go to just DM me. If you guys are interested in becoming trained by my team, which is like Ella Ray and Landon Moore's wife and other people, trained by Molly and Jade and all these people that all look exactly like Jade, by the way. Just DM me and I'll give you a link. Chris says, are you looking for another TC? No, I'm not. I do love my TCs, but I'm not looking for another one.
Well, we have another hedge fund boom.
I'm having a big one. So I'm really good friends with the head of acquisitions at BlackRock. And he sends me a text message 2 weeks ago. He said, bro, why are you not sending me deals? We are on the buying craze right now. Now that Trump is back in office, they're all excited. They feel like there's a lot of positive upward momentum. And then I get a text message from Tommy Stapley. He's like, I got $2 billion in cash to buy RV parks. Then I get a text message from one of my other friends from Colony and American Homes for Rent. And it's like literally in the last 3 weeks, I've gotten text message from some of the biggest hedge funds that are all like, let's go, let's go, let's go, fill the pipeline. So yes, I'm seeing it. Are you guys seeing it, Brent?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I suspect it's coming down. I suspect it's going to be opening up just because the market's going to go bananas. And when the market goes bananas, they have so much more equity that they can pull out of that market and double dip, right? So they take money out of the market, they pay some interest on that, they put it into housing and let it sit there and just double dip on what they're getting in rents and appreciation and also what the market's doing. So I think when the market goes up, the hedge funds come back. I just don't know if they've unleashed the local hounds yet, Pace, so to speak.
I'm feeling some momentum. In fact, I would love to put a pipeline together. All of your students, all of mine, all of yours, Jerry, like everybody should be submitting deals through these portals and selling deals. Like I think that the days of buying at 85% of ARV are coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I might have to retire and go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, buyer confidence is up. Everybody's feeling really good. We're seeing everybody like excited about getting into the market. You know, everyone was kind of on pins and needles for a minute there, and then after Trump wins, I feel like everyone's like ready to dive in and really go for it. So I think it's an exciting time to be in the game. Yeah. If you're on the sidelines, guys, get in the game. It's always good, but now it's great.
What do you, Brent? What do you have going on? How many? You know, I want to test the live audience situation real fast. Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Let's see whose live audience is louder. We're gonna have the live chat, 350 people. Tell us, guys, whose live audience is louder. Okay.
I got a lot of pros over here.
You got a lot of bros.
We're gonna grow this thing out.
Hey, Matt, is Matt over? Does Matt have a camera on your live audience?
Matt is having a baby right now. Well, he's not.
Matt is having a baby. That's gonna hurt him a lot.
So I don't.
Okay, so let's just do the audio. Okay, you guys got your mic?
Come on up.
Okay.
Okay, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to yell on the count of 3, Wholesale Hotline. Okay. Oh no, I want you to yell, Brent Daniels is buff. Okay. On the count of 3. Okay. Oh crap! There. See all the. Hey. Oh my God. Hey, show our audience. Hold on a second. Okay. On the count of 3, Brent Daniels is buff. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Brent Daniels is buff.
All right. On the count of 3, we're gonna yell, Jerry Norton is lonely. All right. 1, 2, 3. Jerry Norton is lonely.
Where's my crew? It's bedtime. It's 9:30 here. Everybody's in bed.
That's how you rig a system right there. You know Jerry's going to lose. It's the only thing I can beat Jerry at right now. Guys, how did we do? Everybody in the side chat, how did we do? Was it Brent's crew or was it our crew over here? We had a cheat code. All right, we had what? Steve says Brent's 100%.
Yeah, it's way.
Oh my gosh,
we crushed you. Anyway,
before we wrap up, I'm curious, Brent, what do you have going on this week, brother? What do you have happening?
Show this Wednesday, marketing strategy for 2025. Join us live. That is at what is it now? Noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be going live on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel. How about you, Jerry?
Just a regular week of working on stuff. We just got done with our agent workshop with Jamil last week, so that was a blast. And yeah, just putting out content and working on deals and having a good time.
Love it. I have one thing. I'm going to be showing up to Wednesdays live with Brent. I will be there, guys, hanging out. I love watching Brent stuff live. I'll be there on Wednesday. You guys should be there too. I also am booking my flight this week for Jerry Norton's February 14th, Valentine's Day couples retreat in Puerto Rico.
Let's go.
If you guys are trying to get laid more, get paid more. Brent, do you guys have, or I'm sorry, Jerry, do you have a link to like getlaidgetpaid.com or something like that?
I'm going to buy that domain.
Is there a domain where people can book to get to the relationship couples retreat in Puerto Rico where my wife and your wife and us two will be there hanging out with people that are trying to better their relationships with their spouses?
Hey, wait, my squad's coming. Guys, come say hi.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
look at, I got the diaper squad. Oh,
hey, buddy.
Oh, I love those kids.
That's awesome.
I love those kids.
He's so confused right now. He's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You won.
All right. Brent, I will let you wrap up the show. It looks like we froze on my side anyway. Guys, I love you so much. Brent Daniels, we love you. Jerry, we love you. Thank you guys for letting me jump in the last 20 minutes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that's it for Wholesale Hotline number 245. We'll see you next week. Love you guys. See ya.
Love you guys. Later.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say that thing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.